Hey there, everyone. In this video, we're going to be talking about how to monetize your content. Specifically, we're going to talk about how to make $1,000 creating short form video content. I also have a guest that will be popping in with me, and she's going to be talking about how she's been able to generate income and monetize her content utilizing lists. So I did a video on TikTok that talked about how to monetize and make $1,000 with your short form video content. That video went mini viral, and I put the link in the description. So if you'd like to go ahead and get the step-by-step, you can go ahead and grab that. So my guest is here. So we're going to be talking all things monetization. This is going to be a quick live video, but definitely if you have any questions, feel free to go ahead and leave a comment. Let me know any questions you may have. And if you'd like to be a guest on the next monetization line, and DM me on Instagram. So Akila, welcome.
Hi.
Thank you for hopping on. We were just on what is that, TikTok live, and I was like, wait a minute, hold up, stop. We need to go on YouTube. We need to put this on YouTube. We need to put this on Facebook. We need to talk about how to make money and monetize your content, because she made a significant amount of money just by selling a list. I have several friends that are selling lists that are making a ton of money. So we'll talk about it. And I want to have more of these conversations. So Monetization Live official. You are the first guest, Keela.
Yay. And I just started doing my YouTube, so we're the first guest on each other.
Awesome. Yeah, let's talk about it. Let's talk about getting the money and making money from short form content. Also some keyword stuff, SEO, all the good things. Because I told Akila, I look at my ranking on TikTok and somebody pushed me down, darn it. I used to be in the first 6 videos when you looked up monetize on TikTok. Now I've fallen down. I'm like in the, I don't know, 9 or 12 videos that you see there. So I am going to start to send traffic to some of those videos to start to see if I can move back up in that SEO and the keyword ranking, because it was doing really well for me. So Keela, let's talk a little bit about monetization. And you talked a little bit about your membership. You're going to be ending here really soon. So let's get the people up to speed so we can continue that conversation on and move into how we've been selling lists as well, and talk a little bit about some of the platforms that we use to monetize as well. I love Gumroad. I love Podia. You are looking at, what's the name of that one you're looking at?
So right now I'm on Member Vault, which I like Member Vault, but I told you about the whole explosion that happened in my business. Not Member Vault's fault, but because of that, it's getting them kicked out, because I'm going to look at Kartra so I can do it all in one.
Right. So let's talk about your membership and bring them up to speed on that. You had a membership for a long time, like way longer than I ever held a membership.
Yeah, so it's called, well, it was called My SEO Work Club, or just The Work Club. So we just call it The Work Club. And it is a membership. So I didn't really do a whole introduction, but y'all will get to know me in a minute. But what I teach is SEO and how people with content, long form content, creating SEO, getting SEO. And as a result of that, I wind up helping people with their businesses and growing, because once you get the content, once you get the traffic, we need to sell something. That's what we do, right? And so I help with all those aspects of my business in the membership. And I had it since 2019. I actually launched it on the back of I wrote a book. So I have a book called My SEO Workbook, which is why it was My SEO Work Club and the My SEO Workbook, because it was like we learn and do in the Work Club. And so I released a book back in 2019, early 2019. I actually did it, and I'm giving y'all all the tea, because whoever can use this will. But I did it on Kickstarter. So I did a Kickstarter campaign to fund writing my book. And one of the rewards for the Kickstarter campaign, because where Kickstarter has reward levels, and it's only but so many books you can give people or want to give people, right? And so instead of adding in, because I've seen like people do like 1 book, 2 books, 10 books. Don't nobody want 10 books, really, right? And so what I did instead was my membership. I already had another membership, so I was familiar with memberships, and so I was like, I love doing and serving that way. So I decided I was going to start another membership, and so I did a 1 month and a 3 month, and that's how it started was people, whether, depending on their reward level, they got access to the membership. The first few weeks were just me going through every chapter of the book. So I had content because I wrote a book about it. And then we've been together since 2019. I literally have some members still from 2019 that have been with me since Kickstarter, for real. So
that is amazing. That is amazing. Yeah, I was trying to move to it. That is amazing. That's dope. That is really, really dope. So as you can move into this next phase of phasing out your membership and spending more time on being a SaaS founder, what are some of the challenges and things that you're coming up against just mentally with having to let go of members that's been generating income, right?
Ending it has been hard. Like of course I've told my members, they know. I gave like a good 2.5 months, so it officially ends on July 1st. But just it's almost like a little bit of a breakup.
Right.
I'm close to my members, become friends with some of my members. Like we got together in person. The only thing I didn't get to do was like a conference because, the panini came around. But we've grown businesses, we've grown sites, we've grown multiple businesses. Like it's been pretty amazing in there. And so just, not wanting to let people down. People do, like, I coach these folks. So, thinking about their businesses and, I don't want their businesses to falter, but which is why I gave such a 2.5 months almost of the wind down to it, because I'm like, look, ask me any questions y'all need, right? I'd love for your businesses to be like 100 by the time we're done, which requires them to do some stuff. But I wanted to make sure that was open, because the most emotional part of it was really just breaking it to my members and letting them know that I wasn't going to be there for them in that way anymore. Like, we can still be cool. I'm not answering any SEO questions, right? But we can still be cool. And we can still be friends. It's just, I just can't serve. And I probably could if I push myself. I'm going to be real honest with the audience. I don't want to serve that way right now. I really do want to focus on, like, I've got my software company. I really want to focus on my software. We were talking about affiliates. I want to focus on some things that do more, and not say set it and forget it, because I feel like that's a dangerous thing we say in this industry, but things that I can set and spend less time with. Right.
Yes.
So that's what I'm kind of really leaning into for this season of my life. And that's so I can be active in the software company. I'm not going to just be chilling.
Right. And so you talked a little bit about selling your list, and you made what, 50? How much did you make?
$45,000 from that list.
$45,000 from selling what type of list was it?
It was a list for wholesalers. So I mentioned I had another membership, right? So prior to that, I was working with online retailers. I have a site called Online Boutique Source. It's still out there now. I'm not that active on it, so don't judge me, but Online Boutique Source. And with that, I had a community, and every day, and this is what we were talking about on TikTok. So if you come over, you know the story, but every day people were coming into that community. It's a regular Facebook group community. They were coming in there asking for wholesalers. And two of the things I realized, because I don't necessarily think you should buy wholesale list if you're doing retail, in my professional opinion. But I also realized that people could not move past it. And sometimes you have an audience that you see that they're so stuck on one thing in terms, like, mentally, like they're like, if I don't get wholesale, get products, then I can't start my boutique. Or if I got a boutique and the boutique is going bad, the number one thing people would always say is, I need to get new products. And I'm like, that's not the problem, right? But until I gave them something to help with that problem, they just could not think past it, right? And I give you guys that bit of a background because I know, as you were saying, I'm going to find a niche. These are the signs to look for. What are the things that people just cannot keep asking for? Different people, like that community grew to about 4,000 in that community, and every different person was coming in. Anybody got a bag wholesaler? Anybody got a shirt wholesaler? Anybody got this? And so, and I had a course. So I tried I'm going to do a little course for it. I did a little 4-week course. It was selling, but nothing like this listing did. And so, what wound up happening was I got laid off, and so I had free time. And I remember I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give them what they keep asking me for. I'm just gonna give it to them. And so I went, literally, I remember going to Starbucks that morning and just started doing the research. And literally the wholesale listing was me researching. I lived next door to New York City, like next door, right? So I would go into the garment district, and I knew, wholesalers that were in the garment district. And back then, and I'm not even sure now because I don't go in there too much, but they're not easy to find online. Like they're storefronts that just look crazy if you've ever been to the garment district, right? And
I
so
went a couple of not last now. And I was just like, yes, okay. So where do I go? Like, because I want to buy some stuff before I leave. Like, where do I go? And I had no idea where to go, where to
and
start.
First
Like,
Valley was
it was
like,
so much.
it looks right here, like this is it. Like some things, if you're like used to the city, some things that people think are so huge are very unassuming, right? People will be like, oh my god, I'm so excited to see it, and like they be like, where is it? And you're standing on top of it.
Right.
So
I
that is
really
the garment
was.
district. And because it's Manhattan, like it's so, like literally Madison Square Garden is right 2 blocks down from the garment district, which is down the street from the Macy's Herald Square. So you think all these things would be separate, then they neighbors. It's really weird. You turn a corner and you're in the garment district. And so I had all those. I had those listings from the garment district. Plus I now had free time. I can go in the city anytime I needed to and go get more. And then I was going to, in the city, and I know they do it in Vegas. I think they have one in LA too. But I would go to these big shows. In Vegas, it's called the Magic Show. The one that's here, I forgot what it's called, but they're trade shows. So there are business trade shows that only you can go to if you're in that industry. And since I had the site, I qualified in that industry. And so I would go to that and I would get all the retailers that I thought would be good for my list and get all their information, and I would vet them. So it started out with me just like looking them all up, making sure they had the ones I wanted, had some online presence, the address was legit, like that they were legit. Like I would work with them wholesalers and I put them on a list, and I put that list in a PDF format. Right? It was not super tech, as tech as I am. This was the least tech thing I've ever done. Right? So I put it in, so it was an Excel that I put into a PDF, like Excel, save the PDF, that basic. And I put it up on Gumroad, and I think that's how we started the conversation. I was like, I love Gumroad. I put it up on Gumroad, and then I just sold it, and it's actually started at $9.99. And what I would do is every quarter I would look for more wholesalers. So every quarter I would add to it. And that's where, so it went from $9.99 to $25, which is the ending price, like the last final price. And I purposely didn't want it to be too expensive. I wanted it to be a gimme. I wanted to be like, this is easy. I need this. Let me just get it. And the goal was to be a gateway into a larger course I had. And so it served as that, because I'm getting all the email addresses. I mean, imagine all your email addresses. I think one of some like 1,600 of all paid people. And even to this day, because although I don't sell it anymore, since the site is still up and the site gets dope traffic too. That's a whole nother story. But since the site gets traffic and all of that page is still up, and I tell people to sign up for if I ever decide to bring it back, because I need to leave that door open.
Girl.
So,
Okay.
So I still get people signing up. I still get people who would be willing to pay, even if I decide to bring it back. I'll probably bring it back a little bit different, but I still got people willing to pay for it, which is dope in itself. But really, it's all about finding that thing that people literally were stuck on. They were stuck. And I just did the legwork. And the thing that brought us, taking us back to our content,
Right.
the thing that sold it the most was a blog post that's still on that site that is called 3 mistakes people make, or 3 mistakes you make was looking for wholesalers. And
Wow.
what it did was go through 3 of the big things, like looking for an address, making sure they don't also sell retail. Like there's some big mistakes, right? So went through
Right.
3 mistakes, talked about what they could do and to combat those mistakes. And at the bottom it said, if you don't want to do any of this, buy the list. And so many people, because
Oh,
that one post was ranking number 1 and getting, again, really good the whole site got good traffic, but that was one of like the pillar posts that I had on there that really did well. And so that one post got traffic, got people, got paid, and that was it. Like literally, it was like the perfect storm of the perfect formula, and it just worked.
Wow. I could totally see you just kind of walking around. It's like, ping. Okay, cool. All right. You know,
I mean, it was
like,
fun too. I would like go into the stores, like, "Hey, I represent online boutique stores," and give them my card, right? And we're gonna feature you in our directory and blah blah blah. So I make which I like to make connections. So I was making connections. So it was a whole dope thing to have it,
yeah.
but then to also see those major results from it was really
Oh,
really
I
good.
love that. I'm even thinking of doing something else that brought to mind some other ideas or some ways that I could put together a list for an audience that I'm thinking about right now. I'm not going to say what it is, but
Mhm.
an audience that I'm thinking about right now. So, were you charging the vendor or the distributors? There's distributors, right?
Oh, well, they're called wholesalers, so they was
Wholesalers.
they're the
Oh,
wholesalers are manufacturers because some are middlemen and some are the actual people who
got
create.
it. Yeah, I want to make sure I'm
Um,
using the right word.
yeah,
Because I get them
they won't be
all.
mad. It's okay.
I get all the industries put together. Yeah, okay. So the manufacturers, were you thinking of charging them at all for
No.
being in the list? It was like you're completely free. Did you ask for permission to put them in the list, or were you just like, "Hey, we putting you in here if you good," and
Some
that's
of
what
them
it's going
I
to be?
some of them I did, especially in the beginning. Some I did, some because some we just I found online, and then and that's the other thing. So as the listing continued, I trained one of my assistants. I was able to hire an assistant, and then I
Nice.
trained them on doing that quarterly update. And if the quarterly was just, and that's why people loved it because it was, and they could go back in. They got lifetime. It wasn't a membership, but they could go back in because I was using Gumroad. They can go back in and download the latest version anytime they wanted to, and they got an alert that there was a new
Oh,
version out. So that
oh,
was
that's
another
dope.
thing, but it wasn't clear, not a membership. I was not held to this,
No,
but it was something that they had available. And so yeah, so in the beginning, a lot of it was just my research. I didn't know if this thing was gonna be a thing,
right.
right? So I didn't really tell them. I was like, I'm collecting information. Da, 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 da. I would tell them I'm bringing it back to my clients, which I was. Um, and so that's kind of the first couple of people. Then I think like the middle people were a little bit more. I actually pitched it to them when I would
Mhm.
go to shows, depending on because the show I used to go to, they held it 2 to 3 times a year, depending on different seasons, and it
Okay.
was packed. Right, it was one of those. It's a
Yeah,
big retail
I
show.
know. Magic is huge.
It's magic. It literally is the size of
Magic is
magic,
huge.
but in New York.
Okay.
They take the Jacob Javits Center. If you guys know New York, that's the big conference convention center in New York.
Mhm.
So they take 2 floors in the Jacob Javits, and so
Wow.
it's a huge show. I would have to sometimes go multiple days just to do the whole thing. But
Wow.
so sometimes I would, if I had time to talk to somebody, or if there was like the actual owner there, somebody who seemed owner-ish, right? I would have a conversation with them. But some folks I would just grab their card, grab their information, and put them on our list to do our vetting process. We had a very extensive vetting process, which is what really made it sell. Like,
Mm,
right up on the page, because, and this is another thing, like when you're selling listings, people would ask things like, um, why can't I just get this stuff on YouTube? And I said, I mean, not on YouTube, on Google. Like, why can't I just
right.
Google this information? And it
Yeah.
said you can Google it. Like, I was very clear. I teach Google. You can Google
Right.
this information. Every website in the world is on Google, but you won't know if it's legit. You won't know if it's vetted. You won't know if you're not making some of these mistakes. And so that was kind of my selling proposition, that it wasn't, list that you couldn't ever do yourself. It just would have taken trips to New York, trips to shows, trips to, hours of vetting. So we pretty much were doing the work for people. And that was another thing too. People started copying off of it. So I will say that
I
was a
was just
downside.
about to say that, literally. How
Yeah.
did you combat people taking the list and then selling it themselves or copying it?
Well, I don't know if anybody actually took my list and sold it. People did put out duplicate lists. I tend to try not to buy or get the things my competitors do because I don't want to be influenced, right? Nor sad, right? Gotta keep my sanity, right? Hey guys, I
Yeah,
see Gigi
Gigi said,
there.
I like that you kept adding to the list. I like that too.
Yeah.
And that's something I do with my Notion boards now. So I sell these tool Notion boards, and to Akila's point, you could totally go and Google and find these tools, but I'm going through and actually ranking the tools and say, okay, I like this. This can be used for this. Yes, use it. Or really, to be honest, none of them are not use them because I'm not going to put them on the list if you don't. If they suck, I'm not putting them on the list.
Mhm.
Right. So there are always going to be tools that I recommend and that I use or that I love or I think just are just dope that I add to that list, and I'm adding to it every single month. But to your point, I need to give that to my VA. I need to give that to my VA and just tell her to, hey, add this one, add this additional one to the list. I took it a
Mhm.
step further with the make $1,000 from short form video. I took that a step further and then added in actual affiliates like, oh yeah, use this affiliate, use that affiliate
Nice.
to monetize your content because I know that those affiliates pay out well. And I also know that they are really great to use inside your video content. So I love, love, love everything that you're saying. Oh, and there's Kathy. Kathy, hey, I'm gonna send you the link, Kathy, if you want to come up because I haven't talked to Kathy in a good minute. I said we was gonna be 15 minutes. We really 3:30 my time. What is that? 6:30 your time? We
Yeah.
are off of here. Okay. So Kathy, if you
I
come
have
up, come
until
up.
7. Funny enough, 7. Michelle and I are coworkers.
We on 6:30. Convenient versus cost. I love that. Hey,
Mhm.
tell me how because it's hard for me to get monetized. Okay.
Yeah. And then
So
can we go back to what Gigi said about the convenient versus
absolutely.
cost?
Yeah, let's
Because
go
I
back.
think that's something that as content creators, as business owners who are looking to monetize, we tend to get stuck in the it's no one wants this because it's so easy to do. But what's easy
Right.
for us might not be easy for other people, or what we have time for might not be good, might not be the time someone else has or wants to take. Because like with my audience for that list, they just wanted to sell their stuff. They didn't want to be
Right.
researching all of that. They did not care. Right?
Right.
So make it, and I say this because I preached for like ever in my group. Like even when I sold it, I'd be like, you can buy, it's good for you to get your own. But if you need this, like I still wanted people to do, because really honestly in retail, you should get your own, right? I
Right.
really want people to do the research, find their unique vendors and blah blah blah. And then people just was like, no, I want to just make it easy. So sometimes you just gotta make it easy. One of the slides I have in my now talking about my tool, which is essentially another version of doing the same thing, right? You can write this, but
Yeah.
we'll write it for you. I have a slide that shows a bunch of different cakes, and I talk about cake mix, how you could make like one's like a German chocolate, a red velvet, or something else, and like you could get a Duncan Hines cake and have that be the base to all of these cakes that I just showed you. But it's the
Right.
starter. Not everybody wants to go out there and get the flour and the baking powder and all the things it takes to make a cake from scratch. We like boxed cake. And when we zhuzh it up, I put spices in mine, like I did something in the kitchen, right? And that's the same exact thing. So you could think of what are some of those base things that people just can't move without. You can think of a product for your people.
Yeah, and we talked earlier. I was like, okay, I need to find a product because I'm doing too much. Like, I need to find a product that's not necessarily in this space, but in a different space where they're just coming and getting it. I think I have one in my head. Um, so it says here, Q, is it QQ? I hope I'm saying that right. Hey, tell me how, because it's hard for me to get monetized. All right. So how you make $1,000 from your short form video content is that number one, going back to Aquila, you have to know what people want. Right. So when you understand what they want, you can create content that speaks directly to them. And welcome, Kathy. Welcome, welcome.
Hey, Kathy, long time no see.
So you can create
Yeah.
content that specifically speaks to that direct audience. And when you create that content, you can then put links in your description. And that's what I teach. The step-by-step for me is how do we do this and do it in the effortless way, right? Create 60-second videos, 30-second videos, 10-second videos, and get paid on the back end because someone is going to the link in our description or they're booking me for services. I remember when we were on Clubhouse. Oh my gosh, I miss Clubhouse. Let me just say I miss Clubhouse. Not I know it's still there, but it ain't like it used to be. I could
R.I.P.
get
to
on
what it used to be.
Clubhouse and get off and be like, ting, 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 ting. Right? And my DMs will be full, right? So I'm a person that does services. So we offer services primarily, but we also have some digital stuff. But yeah, for me as a service provider, that was an amazing way. Now I would actually record a video while we were doing our Clubhouse rooms. I would be on Loom and recording that video, so we had video content as well as the audio content. But Kathy, I want to take a second to introduce you and welcome you to the stage. Thank you for showing up. Thank you for coming on.
I'm glad I saw it. It's weird.
Yes.
I saw it on my phone, but not on my other devices.
Oh, interesting. Huh. Weird.
Yeah.
We were just talking about monetizing. So I'm starting this series called Monetize Live. You know me and my series, but anyway. So we did a summit today, and when we finished up the summit, I was just like, I need to. So Akila said something, number one, that jarred me up. She said that when one of us get paid, we all get paid. And I was just like, why am I not creating content around monetization? That hit me like a ton of bricks, right? I was like, I need to be creating content around monetization. I need to be telling people how to make money with this stuff because it should be, right? As I learn and as I gain information, I'm able to then give that to you all and help you all monetize. So anyway, if you have any questions, feel free to ask any questions that you may have in the chat. We are answering questions. I'm going to be reviewing accounts. We only got about a good another 10 minutes or so, but I can go ahead and take a look at your account. Take a look at your TikTok. If you have a book, we got an SEO strategist here. So if your book isn't ranking really well on Amazon or what have you, or your website, I don't know, Akila, if you feel like answering questions, you can. I'm not going to tell her she's going to, but you can at least bring it up and she can say yes or no. Yes. And Kathy as well. Right?
So I'm just, thank you all for inviting me to the studio. But I do want to say this in terms of monetization. Like, you can do all the videos in the world, and you preach this all the time. But if you're not intentional and you don't have a call to action and you don't have an offer to lead them to, you're not gonna make no money.
110% facts. And that's why I put that step because I got a lot of people that DM me, that send me messages. I was getting emails. I was like, oh, okay, y'all really want this. And I'm not going to just put it out there and then not tell you guys, like, look, listen, you got to be intentional in your videos. I can give you all the affiliate places to get affiliates all day. I can tell you how to record a video, but if you don't have, like she said, the call to actions, if you don't have intention behind it, if you don't know who you're serving and what their pain points are. Because if you are doing content about baby kittens and then you turn around and do a video about I don't know, I'm trying to think of a tool, SEO assist, it's kind of like right. Mm-hmm. So make sure it matches up with the audience. Make sure you're creating content for the specific audience. I know I was always talking about monetization, so that's why that hit. Talk to content creators all the time. A lot of my digital friends, whenever they meet clients or whatever, we are hopping on Zoom calls like, okay, what's going on? Okay, what can we do? I had one friend that reached out and was just like, I'm over it. I'm about ready to quit. I'm like, no, don't quit. Okay, here's what you're going to do. You're going to do this. You'll go here. So I think a lot of us have these conversations in silo, but that's why I wanted to make this conversation more of a unified internet conversation, right? So all of our internet cousins here can learn how to monetize. So please ask your questions. Kathy, I'm going to pass it back over to you. Any thoughts you want to give to that? Because I love what you just said. That was amazing.
No, I'm just like, if you have a brand and you're always online, followers don't matter. If you're not leading them to something, you can have all the views you want, but if you truly want to make money, then you have to have something to offer them. And I'm not going to say his name, but I was somehow on this challenge this week and I got tagged, and I was very surprised that this well-known coach, he was just like brutal. He was just like brutal. That's not a niche. You can't make money with that. I mean, like I was like, ooh, clutch my pearls. So
you know, you gotta DM us the name now, right? You don't gotta share the public.
You know I am, but I don't know. Even though Jessica knows I have strong opinions about a lot of people online, I never like bash them publicly.
Yeah, which is good, which is, yeah.
But yeah.
But
But go
sorry.
ahead, Q. What?
I think, and to your point, especially about having something and having that audience, I think it is important to make sure, and everything's a niche. It's just how you niche it, really. So I think it's just making sure you do have one that is at least willing to look at, buy, whatever price point that you want them to, and also start, like, don't be afraid to start as soon as you start growing. A lot of people I hear, like, when I get to this, then I'll create a product, or I'll get to that and then I'll create a product, or I'm working on, just people have been working on courses for years. Just years. And so I think that's one of the things, even one of the things that helped with the listing that we were just talking about, is that I did it fast. Right. I tried a couple of things, and everything I do pretty fast. I did it fast, tried a couple of things. Some of those didn't do too well. And then I found this one thing, and I literally, I had incentive, but I just did it fast and got it out there. And that's one of the reasons why I kept growing, because I think it started out with 25 people, 25 things on the list. It wasn't even an extensive list at first, and then it grew to like 100 something. But that was one of the things, like, I'm just going to get it started. That way I can refine it. I can find the people for it. But the moment someone comes to me and wants something, I got something to sell them, and you solidify your business. I think that's another thing too. We get stuck in the content creation, almost like the no shade to mommy bloggers. I say this all the time, but the mommy bloggers, like, I'm just putting it out there, recipe bloggers, I'm just putting it out there to put it out there, and nobody really realizes you have a whole business behind it because you haven't really been trying to sell anything.
Oh, girl, a whole entire word. Okay, I'm gonna switch it up because I don't want to get too deep, because we only got a couple minutes.
So Jessica, if you don't mind, I missed what the list was, and then I just want to tie into Akila doing SEO, because people don't want to find out what their keywords are, and keywords are everything. They are hashtags, they are tags on YouTube. And if you don't know what keywords that resonate with your ideal audience, because you haven't done the research, even though it sounds boring, your copy, you don't know who you're talking to, you don't know if it's connecting with them, and you don't even know if people are even looking for that. So that's a hot button with me. So I just wanted to say that, and then I wanted to know what your list was.
So, answer the question about the list. We were the wholesale. It was a wholesaler's list that I used to sell on my older site, which was Online Boutique Source, and so that's kind of one of the things that started our conversations.
Okay.
I'm trying to pull up my thing, and it's not doing it. But okay, there it is. I'm trying to pull you guys in. Hold on. StreamYard, work with me, brother. Okay, so what I wanted to show you guys is, and how we kind of got into this conversation, is I was talking about keywords and how my video dropped. I used to be at the very top up here. Whenever you you looked up content monetization, I would show up in the first 3 to 6 videos. I'm okay with doing the 6. Now I'm all the way down here. I'm mad. So keywords, to Kathy's point, very, very important. When we're talking about monetizing content, when we're talking about making, $1,000, $5,000, I've had videos that have made me $10,000 from a client seeing them, and I got on the phone with them, and we booked, got the contract going. So when you have content that's ranking and people know you for a particular topic, thing, item, you have to take the time to figure that out and see what that is. There's no way around it. You can't cut, Lorraine talked about earlier during the summit, you can't cut forward, right? You can't cut out some of the sales process and then just decide, oh yeah, you know what? I'm just going to do videos about everything. Find out what your keywords are and what you actually want to rank for. Identify what that is. I knew content monetization was one of the words that I absolutely wanted to rank for. So I started doing content around that and tagging and using the right hashtags in my content. This is a duet, right? So this isn't even a solo video that I did, but he did a video. I was like, yeah, it's great. I was going to do that video. I ain't doing all of that. I'm glad you put all those screenshots and things in there for me. And that's usually the type of content that I duet. But really look at your keywords to Kathy's point, because my ranking is falling down. I said I'm going to take some of these videos, start to drop them in different Facebook groups, send some to my email list, try to get my ranking back up there again so that I can show up within these first couple of lines, because I was up here. Now I've gotten pushed all the way down. I'm still showing up, but I definitely want to be towards the top. So keywords are super important. Just wanted to bring that point home. All right. As we kind of bring this to a close, we only got 2 more minutes here. Some of the things, the tools that you like to use. We talked about Gumroad. Akila made her money from Gumroad. So, so Akila's all in on Gumroad. Kathy, what's your favorite tool to use to monetize or to sell digital products?
A Thrivecart, actually. I love Thrivecart.
Why do you like Thrivecart?
Because they have now added a learn component. So not only is it a shopping cart, but I can list courses, or even if I just wanted to sell a simple workbook, I could do that and just link to it. Just link to it from a landing page, put it behind the payment button, send somebody there. Yeah.
Nice. I know Stan Store has been a really big one right now. Koji is another good one that I've been hearing good things about. I like Koji because you can do the whole tip jar with Koji. So I'm definitely probably going to infuse that into some other content things that I have going on here, where I can just put a link to my tip jar and people can come and give me tips with Koji. So that's a really great tool. I love Podia. Even though their prices are a little bit, they done did some switching up on me. I still really love them, and my stuff is all on there. So I'm like, well, it's gonna stay for a minute because I can't take trying to move my stuff over right now. But I love Podia for monetizing content and having those links to your products. Also for having modules that your content can go in. I can take a Loom video, place that sucker in there. A platform that a lot of people don't talk about is Notion. Notion is an amazing platform for you to use to host your content. Notion boards are bae. Notion boards are amazing for monetization. And if you link those through like a Square account, it's done. Now it can't do funnels and all the things, but it can definitely just get you started. If you just need quick access to getting paid and to delivering, definitely throw up that Square up, put that link to a Notion board, good. You can update it, all that good stuff. So any other tools you all want to throw out there? And Akila, definitely throw SEO assist in the chat too.
I have a Notion question. So
Yeah.
new tool. I want to know more about this one. How do you secure the Notion, or I don't want you to get too into it, but can you secure the Notion boards? Because I always thought, like, the Notion that I always saw bits of it seemed like it was always the public facing pages and really for doing more things, either public space facing or completely internal, not something where you can like sell it and then making it.
No, so on Notion, there's actually a space where you can go in and you can duplicate it. So duplicate it, right? Keep your original always, but then duplicate it. But you can also lock it. You can add it to Teams. You can make it public. So to be honest with you, there's no way to really stop people from sharing it. That is the downside of it. But for me, I'm kind of like, I really don't care if you pay for it, and hopefully you won't. I'll put a disclaimer in here, and if I catch you, it's hands. But if I catch you, you're getting these virtual hands, okay? But you can share it out so that the link is visible. That's actually what Clubhouse was using. Clubhouse was using that. That's who turned me on to it. And then I was like looking at it. And I'm like, wait a minute, hold up. I can embed Loom videos. I can embed Google Drive. Wait a minute, hold on. I can put full courses in this joint. So all of my digital products for my Etsy store are delivered through Notion now, because I can also update it where I don't have to like send them back and forth and send emails. I can go to Notion and just make the updates I need to make, right? I can do whatever I need to do in Notion and then just go, hey, check the Notion board. It's all updated. You're good. Right?
Nice. I love that.
I just have 2 questions. What was the tool that you mentioned before Koji?
Was it Podia or no? Not Podia.
There was something else you mentioned in between the two. It was Podia.
Yeah.
It was Koji, and you said something else.
Koji
Now you have to
is
watch the
one.
replay.
I know, right? Gumroad. We talked about another platform. What did I say? What else do I use? I mean,
It
there's
was
also
too, huh?
there's also the I mean, there's so many different ones, but I'm only going to recommend the ones that I really like. There's another one, but I'm not going to say the name of that one. Oh, Square Up, maybe? No,
That's not what you said. No.
no. Oh, okay. Watch the replay. Sorry.
I watched the replay, and then the second thing is, and almost piggybacking on Akila, we're here. I was like, do you have like a mini class on using Notion? Because I've used it and when people had things, but I just didn't, find it user friendly.
Mhm.
No, so Notion is a bit of a beast when you get into it in the beginning. I also use it for client onboarding and also use it for clients their own little portal, right? Because it's super easy. They can go in. I can put the updates in there. All of their assets are in there. I have a client coming up here soon, Monday, that we're recording a podcast for her. I just went in and put all of that stuff in Notion, duplicated it. Now she has this nice little pretty Notion board with all her stuff, location dates, all that stuff in there. I will put together something, Kathy, because you asked me. It doesn't take me long to do that kind of stuff, and I enjoy it. See, now you feed my habit of creating stuff.
Yeah, like not just
Yeah,
creating.
but I mean, so many people are using it. So many people are using it. If you can take off, the hard part, so many people are
What do you
using
want to use it for? And then I swear we gotta get off here. What do you want to use it for? Let me ask
No,
that.
I just want to know how to use it because I've bought. You know me, I'm a hoarder. I'm a tool hoarder. So and course hoarder. So I've bought products where people had a Notion board, and I just leave the thing bookmarked because I don't want to deal with like
logging in.
Yeah, moving all around. So I just would like just general information. And I did want to say that I bought ThriveCart probably it was a one-time fee.
Mm-hmm.
And it was under 500, which I think it's more than that now. And I think they charge for the learn component, but don't quote me. But I just paid one time and I don't have to pay any monthly.
Oh, I wish I would have got in on that because ThriveCart seems like a really great platform.
I think it actually still is the one-time fee. It's just more. I think when I bought it was like $600 or $700.
Yeah, ain't it like $1,000 or something?
It's $695.
Oh, that's not that bad.
And if you think about it, because I use ThriveCart for my actual cart. So most of my products you buy in ThriveCart, and then it sends you to like a member vault or something like that. Like I like to have one because I have multiple things. I like to have one checkout center, which my checkout center is ThriveCart. So I'm there 100% with Kathy on that. But one of the things, like when I was thinking about the cost of it, because some people be like, oh, $700 that's a lot. But that's all you ever have to pay. Exactly. Prior to that, I was on Samcart, and I was on Samcart with a deal that was $99 a month. But I was like, literally, if I get rid of Samcart and buy ThriveCart after 7 months, I'm always in profit. And as an online business and a digital business, the one thing that I never want to slip is my cart. Right. So times got super, super hard. I don't want to like have to get rid of my cart because I can't pay that bill. I need something to sell things. Right. And so that was my thing of why I also switched to ThriveCart and made that investment, because I was like, I never have to make the investment again. Right. I got it now. And it's the most important thing is how you going to collect that money. So
Stan Store. And that's what it is.
It's Sam, like S is in Sam, A is in
Apple.
Oh
yeah, no, it's
Mary.
Yeah, I was talking about Sam SAM card.
No, somebody.
So there's Stan. No, but here's what's happening. There's Stan Store, which is the link in bio one, but there's also Sam Carts. 2 different tools that do similar things. So yeah,
I don't recommend Sam Cart. I'm just gonna say that out loud. I used it, but I don't recommend it. So don't go by that, y'all.
Well, hey,
not in that way, but really because it's expensive. Like I said, I was on a deal for, I think the plan I was on now is like $200 a month or something like that. It's, and they've also got a learn piece now, but it's expensive, and there's better, cheaper options out there. And they may not be cheaper up front, like Thrivecart may not be cheaper up front, but in the long term, if you start thinking about the total value of this and that you're going to have your business for a long time, yeah, don't go there.
Don't go there. So I love this conversation, ladies. We got to do this again for sure. We got to bring on more folks and talk about monetization and platforms and things. You easier for you to sell something. Tell people to DM you. Send them a link. Okay, whatever platform you decide to use, it's on you. We talked about a bunch of them. But if you have PayPal, which we can't stand them here, but if you haven't used it, but I can't stand PayPal. Yuck, and no. But just tell people to DM you. Hey, DM me if you're looking for X, Y, and Z. Send me the word. I love using send me the number or send me the word. That works amazing. Yes, there's some little manual labor, but you also know the folks that were interested and you're able to follow up. So it's a really great way for you to get some interaction going. I like to go and take a look at accounts because I'm nosy. So I go and look and I'm like, what you do? Oh. So it's a way for you to get insight into the people that are following you, what they do, and you'll find some commonalities as well. A lot of my people love Tupac. I'm finding that out from doing those DMs. So it's a really great way for you to find out what people like, what kind of folks you're attracting, what content you should create more of, all that good stuff. So this has been an amazing conversation. If you'd like to be a guest on Monetize Live, go ahead and DM me. My name is Jessica. I go by Joss Speaks Digital on all platforms. If you Google me or you search me on TikTok, whatever platform you like to use, as old folks like Google, you can look up Joss Speaks Digital and DM me on Instagram, and I will pull you up for our next Monetization Live, which I will be doing to be DT. Right, to be determined. But thank you so much, Akila, for sharing your knowledge around how you sold this list. I am definitely doing a list. I got to find the right industry and what are some tips real quick? Find the right industry. I know questions, I know all that good stuff, but what if I'm outside of the industry and I want to go and find someone? What's a good SEO or keyword tip and what place should I go to? Am I going to TikTok? Where do you think now in 2023? To do this?
Good question. I'm glad you emphasized in 2023. But definitely about the keyword. So the way I built all of that was from the keyword, right? Online boutique was a really high keyword back then. It's still pretty decent, but it's gone. The competition's gotten a lot higher. So today, what I would do is still keyword research. So the way I do keyword research, and this is before I even thought of a product, I'm going to find the audience first and something that doesn't have a huge amount of competition. So I would start with my 3 favorite places to go are Facebook groups to listen, not to talk. Just read what are people asking for. Most important thing I feel like when it comes to marketing is to be quiet and listen in the very beginning, right? So you can get those keywords, get those topics, get those ideas. So I use Facebook groups. I use Amazon reviews. Go look for books similar to what you're thinking about doing and read the reviews and see what they're saying that they need and they need more of, what they like, what they loved in a book. Like if they loved the list that was in a book, that's your opening that you can sell a list like that. And now that since your list has got updates and is more active than a book, you're now going to have that audience that's looking for it because people want that. So I use that. And then YouTube comments are another good place. So I pick one of them, right? So that would be my first step. Pick one of them, find my audience, find an audience I want, find some topics, do some research in terms of the numbers behind the keywords. I use Ubersuggest, Longtail Pro, and SEMrush. You can pick one. You don't need all 3. I do this, so I got all 3. But if you just want to like casually pick one, I probably would pick Ubersuggest, but I was going to just pick one. But go in there, take those keywords that you now found out in the wild, put them into these tools and get the numbers behind it. What has a good volume and a low competition? That's the 2 most important factors that you want something with a good volume. It may not be the 20K, but maybe it's the 2K, but the competition's like down to nothing. No one's talking about it. And that's the area that you want. And right now, in terms of creating content around it, I would say I like TikTok, so I'm all over TikTok right now. So I'm
Yeah.
gonna say TikTok is one, but take those keywords and go look on the platforms. What's the platform you want to hang out on? Because the fact is they all got an audience, right? They're doing better than any of us, these platforms, right? So it's if they've got an audience, can I go and get in front of that audience? Are people looking for this? So TikToks are my favorites, YouTube because of the long term and people are searching. It's a search engine too. Facebook, there's some things that are really, really good on Facebook, especially quick digital products for business owners.
Right.
It might also be the places I'm hanging out in, right? But a lot of quick digital products, fitness things are good on Facebook because
Okay.
people like the group aspect of doing fitness. So like I use the Oculus and there's a game called Supernatural that community is bananas, right? Because people are and they're paying a subscription for the game and now they're in this community and then more people come in, they're like, I'm about to buy this game based on seeing you guys play this game. So where can you find that community that's like thinking about looking at and into these kind of things? And that's the platform I would choose. So there isn't just one platform. It's really what's gonna pop up. LinkedIn, if you got something business job related, if you did a list of things around resume or interviews. Like I'm a tech girl, so I'm in a lot of tech groups, right? And everybody's trying to get a job in tech. Imagine you had a list that could help people get a job in tech. Go sell that on LinkedIn. That's not on Facebook, although there's some groups over there. That's not on Facebook as much as it's on LinkedIn because people, they may not say they're actively looking for a job, but they are. Because that's what LinkedIn's about, right? So think about where that audience is and where they're doing the thing that you're going to be addressing. That's really important. A person will have an account on all of these places, but they may not be doing the thing in that spot. So like I said, LinkedIn if it's jobs, Facebook if it's like fitness or something like that, fashion, probably Instagram or TikTok. And then TikTok's got a lot of everything. So you can find a place.
Oh, I love that. So many great tips. So many great tips.
And just
go ahead, Kathy.
just one thing, it's not a SEO tool per se, and it won't tell you on it won't tell you on the social media platforms except for YouTube, but the free tool that I just love is Soovle, Soovle. So if you have the keywords, you can see what people are searching for by entering those keywords, and it will tell you what people are searching for online. And yeah, and all hashtag generator. It I think it still tells you for Instagram, but it's all hyphen hashtag generator. It will give you the top 30 keywords that people are looking for on Twitter and Instagram.
Love it, love it, love it. Thank you, ladies, so much. Okay, so I put together the class. It's going to happen next Friday. If you can join. If you can't, then you'll get the replay. I just put it for $37. I'm going to go through Notion, answer questions about Notion, and there we go. See how quick that was? See how- Oh no! Anytime somebody is like, "Oh yeah, I don't know how to. Can you show me?" I'm like,
yeah. Look, money loves speed, right? Money loves speed.
Right. So, and I said this year that most of my classes were going to either be 37, not 7. We ain't doing it. We're going to go ahead. You need to go ahead and jump on a one-on-one for 300. So, that is what I'm doing to keep my brain from going, how much should this be? No, I'm not doing that more. No more. This has been amazing, ladies. Thank you so much, Akila. You giving me some things to think about. I'm like, maybe I should do a text. I do see that a lot. And there's this group that I'm a part of. And I'm like, let me go scour through that. So I'm going to take the kids out. I'm going to scour through, look at a couple of different groups, find out who I actually can create a listing. And if I were to do the tech group, I would be creating a list of places to find tech jobs, right? So the listing would be job listings.
Well, think about and it would be whatever they're asking for.
Got it.
What's the question? Like, I'm in one group and I know one of the big things is what certifications do I need? So, and then, or how do I prepare for the different certifications? And so imagine if you could put together a listing of these are some, depending on what you want to do. And, if you want cybersecurity, if you want project manager, these are the certifications. And then these are where you go and get them. Because one thing, like I'm PMP and Scrum, and folks keep going to Google certifications, and I'm like, that's not how you do this. That's not how any of this is done. So imagine if you can help people with just that, right? Just a quick listing of these are the this is what you need, and this is where you get it. Boom.
Okay, so I'm
Pay
thinking
attention to what people are asking for. That's just when I
tech
happen to know.
founders, because remember we talked about this a while ago. Tech founders and marketing. A lot of tech founders don't know how to market, so I need to go to the tech communities and just kind of filter through what questions they're asking about marketing.
I'll add you to 2 groups today. Because SaaS founders, yeah. Anyone looking, let me tell you, SaaS founders are not marketers. People think that they know. I'm in a few communities, and we're unicorns in the space if you know both sides. So go
right. Okay. So we definitely are going now. Thank you all so much for watching. Please go ahead and leave a comment down in the description on YouTube. I want to hear from you. What platforms are you using to monetize your content? Are you going to try to use either Gumroad or Podia or what else do we say? Stand Store, Samcart. She said don't use Samcart. Those we don't recommend.
ThriveCart.
ThriveCart is a yes. So leave a comment down in the comment section below. And if you've loved this episode, definitely let me know in the comments as well. Thank you, Akila. Thank you, Kathy, for coming on with me today. We have so much going on in the chat, right? We have SEO assist. You did drop that, right, Akila?
I did not. Wait,
okay. The link to SEO Assist is, so we'll give you a second. The
link
to SEO Assist is in the comment section. So make sure you check out SEO Assist if you need help with getting your SEO up and getting that game going for your content. We also placed the link to our Notion board class that is happening next week on Friday. Time to be determined. We also placed the link to how to make $1,000 with short form video content. That link is in the chat as well. Kathy, do you have any links you want to place in the chat?
No, but that is what I'm working on this weekend.
Okay, awesome. How to create a class or sell a digital product using Notion. I put class in there twice, but that's okay. It's in the chat, the comments as well. Thank you all so much for watching, and we will see you all next time during Content Monetization Live. Hey, Sylvia! Okay, thank you so much for watching. We're leaving now.
Bye, guys.
Bye.